Yes, Shishram, welcome all of you all for our weekly Ramayana class. Today is Ekadashi, though we have our class on Wednesdays, but today we are having it on Tuesday because today is Ekadashi. Ekadashi means, it always means not just fasting. सिर्फ उपवास करना एकादशी नहीं होता है. उपवास करो और भगवान नाम ले लो, ठीक है. उसके साथ हरि कथा, हरि चिंतन होना जरूरी. It's very important that we discuss about the pastimes of the Lord. So it's very important that we read either some scriptures, either the Ramayana, Mahabharata, your Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, anything. But it should not be just dry chanting or just following your vrata. That's one part of it, but doesn't complete unless and until Ekadashi is never complete unless there is a discussion about the Lord's pastimes. So that's why today we are discussing about Ramayana, Sarga 12 we are starting. We are finished Sarga 11. We are starting with Sarga 12, titled Preparation for the Sacrifice. Puja Mataji, can you read?
After a few days, once when the charming spring season arrived, there arose a desire in the mind of King Dasaratha. He wanted to perform the sacrifice to get a child. Then King Dasaratha, bowing his head, went to that Brahmana, Rishyasringa, who was glowing with divine luster. Rishyasringa had been chosen by King Dasaratha to perform the sacrifice for the sake of a child to carry forward his dynasty. Rishyasringa, who was well respected by the king, said, "All right, it will be done. Arrange for the ingredients and release the horse. At the northern bank of river Sarayu, prepare a sacrificial ground."
Hold. So here, these three verses, let's have a fast recap of what we had discussed earlier. We discussed about how Rishi Shringa was lured by the court dancers, the Ganikas, from Vimandak Rishi's hermitage to here in Angadesh. And from Angadesh, as per the prophecy foretold by Sanakadik Rishi, Sumantra gave the entire briefing to Dasaratha Maharaj that yes, I've heard from Sanakadik Rishi that one day you will have sons, and that will be through your friend Romharshana's son-in-law, or your daughter Shanta's husband, Rishi Shringa. And he described the whole details earlier. So finally he goes to Angadesh, stays there for a couple of days, and then requests Romharshana to send his son-in-law and his daughter to his kingdom. On requested, Romharshana immediately sent Rishi Shringa, and finally he brought Rishi Shringa here. After a few days, after Rishi Shringa had come over to Ayodhya, on the charming season, spring season had arrived, there arose a desire in the mind of King Dasaratha. Chalo, why not I request Rishi Shringa for a child Yagya? That is what we call as Putra Kameshti Yagya. This Yagya is different to the Ashwamedh Yagya, sorry, which he had already started. He had started Ashwamedh Yagya. And what was the purpose for starting the Ashwamedh Yagya? Does anyone remember? क्या मकसद क्या था?
Prabhuji, to increase his pious balance of
pious credits, to increase his pious credits, by which he can have a nice son. And that was his thinking. But Acharya says it was ulta. The Lord was thinking, how can I take birth in his house? When will I get a chance to take birth in his house? Because I cannot take birth in a normal form. See, please remember, ye Yagya, Putra Kameshti Yagya done by Rishi Shringa, and the creation coming out from the fire, giving the paisam, the sweet rice to him. See, these are all only means by which Lord can be born without male and female union. Please remember, भगवान जब धरती पे अवतरित होते हैं, हम मनुष्यों की तरह स्त्री और पुरुष के संभोग से नहीं पैदा होते. You have to understand this. The entire preparation of this Yagya and all this is just an idea or a means by which the son can be born. जब तक वो पायसम खिलाएगा नहीं उसकी अपनी पत्नियों को, रामचंद्र जी, लक्ष्मण, भरत, शत्रुघ्न कोई भी पैदा नहीं हो सकते हैं. सबको अवतरित होना है, क्योंकि बाकी हम जैसे लोग जो हैं, हम लोग कैसे अवतरित होते हैं? हम अवतरित होते हैं नहीं. वी आर born by force, no option. We can't choose our parents, we can't choose our house, we cannot choose our wealth. कुछ भी नहीं. चॉइस होता तो बात अलग होता था. सब एक ही करोड़पति के घर पे पैदा होते, बाकी किसी तरह पैदा ही नहीं होते. अंबानी के वहां सब लोग, अंबानी के कुछ 140 करोड़ बच्चे होते. Because everyone would choose a rich man, right? But please understand, whenever God comes to the earth, he just finds a means by which he can appear. You will see the birth of Sita Maiya. How did Sita Maiya appear? In a box, the ground, right? Suddenly she came out. So there is no male and female union. Let's take the birth of Radharani. There is no male and female union. Just Kirtida was standing outside the house near the Yamuna bank, and suddenly on a lotus leaf, Radharani came. So please understand, why all this Yagya, Punyas and this and that. Always these are the way in which we can increase our pious credits. मैंने अभी last Sunday ही मैंने explain किया था. What is the difference between Punyas and सुकृति? कितने लोगों को याद है? Let me see. 2 दिन में क्या कितना ज्ञान है, कितना उड़ गया. पूजा माता जी, did you see that, hear that lecture by any chance?
नहीं प्रभु जी, नहीं.
Oh. Then you will not be knowing the difference between Punyas and Sukriti. Can you tell me the difference between Punya and Sukriti?
Prabhuji, I may be wrong. I'll just try. Means for punya does not mean that you will be attracted to Krishna or to the Lord, Or sukriti mein, you are actually attracted to spiritual things or to the Lord or to the.
Very nice. So
That
how do I earn Sukriti?
By serving Vaishnavas or by chanting the name. But koi mushkil hai wo.
Sometimes where is the starting point for anyone who comes into Sukriti?
Prabhuji, sometimes by mistake you serve a Vaishnava, or sometimes by mistake.
Only by mistake I can come to God.
By chance
that
also.
That means by mistake only I can come to God.
Or if you desire for that, so then the Lord.
If I desire, then just because I desire, how will I get Sukriti? Lord says in the Bhagavad Gita, right? Chaturvidha bhajante mam jana sukritino arjuna. Lord is saying that, right? In the 4th chapter, Lord is saying, Chaturvidha bhajante mam jana sukritino arjuna. Artho jigyasu artharthi jnani cha bharatarasava. So, how? Sorry to say, most of the people don't know this answer. I'm talking of stalwarts, don't know this. See, yes, anybody else would like to try to answer?
प्रभु जी, मैं
हाँ बोलो.
प्रभु जी, पुण्य के बारे में आपने बताया था कि आप जो भी एक्टिविटी करते हो, एनी गुड एक्टिविटी थ्रू विच यू अर्न द पुण्यस, एंड इफ यू गिव अप द फ्रूट्स, इफ यू गिव अप द कि जैसे आपने एग्जांपल दिया था वो हॉर्स और फार्मर का, जैसे कि जो भी करे भगवान, मतलब भगवान की मर्जी के हिसाब से जो भी है,
बराबर,
मेरा उसमें,
correct.
हाँ, यू गिव अप यू लीव द fruits of that particular activity,
of the action,
of the action, so that
right.
comes under sukriti. So this is the
Very
main
nice.
difference.
चलो अच्छा है. Praveen is progressing. इससे मालूम पड़ता है प्रवीण प्रोग्रेस कर रहा है. माता जी, did you get the answer?
Yes, Swamiji. Yes, Swamiji. Yes, Swamiji.
Nobody knows this. This is the problem. Punyas. That is why, that is what, otherwise the Lord's purpose of giving the entire Karma Yoga would be waste. Tyaktva karma phalam, abandoning the fruits of your action. When you abandon the fruits of action, and now someone will say, sir, I can give away my bad actions fruits also. तो वो क्या हो जाता है? वो दुष्कृति. And that which is earning you pious credits. That is why there is a difference between pious credits and punyas. Punyas means आपने अच्छा कार्य किया, आपने दान किया, किसी ब्राह्मण को 100 रुपये दिए, 500 रुपये दिए, और आपने इसका फल, the fruits of it, you did not give it, you are holding with you. Then what happens? You say, I want the fruits of that. मैंने 500 रुपये दान जो दिया उसका फल चाहिए. मिलेगा आपको, स्वर्ग में मिलेगा, या कोई अच्छा गाड़ी बंगला बच्चा, whatever it is, some material progress you will get. Whereas when you say, नहीं, मुझे, मैंने दान दे दिया, उसके एवज में मेरे को कुछ नहीं चाहिए, भगवान बोलते हैं, आई डोंट वांट टू बी ऋणी, मुझे आपका ऋणी नहीं रहना है. आई डोंट वांट टू बी इंडेप्टेड टू यू. कर्म कर और मेरे को फल दे, मैं क्यों लो तेरा फल यार. वेरी गुड, वेरी नाइस, यू आर डूइंग गुड एक्टिविटीज. चल तुझे एक अच्छा, तुझे, you don't want the results, no, I will give a very good result, and he will give you सत्संग. क्या भेजेंगे आपको? सत्संग. कोई बोलेगा, अरे यार इतना पुण्य किया, एंड में उसको सत्संग मिला. यस, सत्संग इज द गेटवे फॉर गोइंग बैक टू सुप्रीम लॉर्ड. जहां से आप आए थे वहीं जाने के लिए आपका मार्ग वापस खुल जाता. That is why Sukriti and Dushkriti ka understanding is very important. Why I am saying this is, Dasaratha Maharaj had Sukriti, lot of Sukriti. That is no doubt about it. But still, Lord was making this Putra Kameshti Yagya as a means by which he can take birth. Otherwise, the process in which Dasaratha Maharaj is thinking, the union, it is not possible. For so many thousands of years he tried, but he did not have a child. In fact, he had one daughter named Shanta. That's all. Nothing more than that. Yes, please continue. I hope everyone is clear with this understanding. Anybody has got any doubts, questions, can ask. किसी को कोई यहाँ पे पूछना है तो पूछ सकते हैं, फिर आगे बढ़ेंगे. Okay, fine.
Then
Yes,
the
madam.
king Then the king spoke to his best minister, Sumantra. Quickly call the Vedic scholars and priests. Call sage Suyajana, sage Vamadeva, sage Jabali, sage Kashyapa, the chief priest Vashishta, and the other best of the Brahmanas. Then quickly Sumantra went at great speed and got all the sages who were well versed in all aspects of Vedas. The righteous King Dashrath honored all of them. He spoke gentle words that were full of righteous meanings. King Dashrath said, because of lamentation for a son, I have no happiness in life. Therefore, I am thinking of performing the horse sacrifice to fulfill my desire. It will be done from the eyes of Shastra, under strict rules. I wish to perform that sacrifice under the guidance of Rishya Shringa and fulfill my desire to beget a son.
So here, Dasaratha Maharaj is telling something very, very important. Here he is saying, because of lamentation for a son, I have no happiness in life. What does this mean? क्या इसका मतलब क्या? Lamentation, ठीक है, कई लोगों को होता नहीं है, तो क्या सुखी नहीं हो सकते हैं? Remember one thing. That is why we should be careful about our desires. This is just a teaching. Remember, Ramayana and Mahabharata are nothing but the Shastra in the form of a story. एक कहानी के स्वरूप में है. बार बार कहता हूँ. Here it is saying, because of lamentation for a son, I have no happiness. मैं कभी सुखी नहीं हो सकता. उनके पास सब धन है, पराक्रमी है, he's got name, fame, इक्ष्वाकु का वंश के हैं, like name it. But he was lacking a son. Why is this justified? Lacking a son? Was he lacking that he wanted a son? That's all. He wanted a son for a specific purpose, for performing righteous deeds like Shraddha ceremony after his departure. Main thing is, लोग अक्सर कहते हैं अरे इतना बड़ा प्रॉपर्टी संभालने के लिए वंश चाहिए, इनका धंधा संभालने के लिए, इनका बड़ा फैक्ट्री संभालने के लिए नहीं, पुत्र चाहिए किसके लिए? ओनली एंड ओनली फॉर परफॉर्मिंग sacred rites and Shraddha ceremony, giving water of oblations to the ancestors. That is the main purpose. And that is why he was sad. Not that I didn't have a son, that was the only reason. No. Acharya say there are various reasons for which Dasaratha Maharaj was sad for not having a son. So I am thinking to perform this horse sacrifice to fulfill my desire. So there is Ashwamedha Yagya. It will be done under the eyes of Shastra, under strict rules. I wish to perform the sacrifice under the guidance of Rishi Shringa and fulfill my desires to beget a son. Please continue.
All the Brahmanas replied in return by saying, "Excellent." Then the Brahmanas headed by Rishi Shringa in return said to the king, the Brahmanas said, "Let all the ingredients be arranged and let the horse be released. Let a sacrificial ground be prepared on the northern bank of Sarayu River. This righteous way for getting a son has begun. You will beget 4 intelligent sons of immeasurable powers." Having heard the words of those Brahmanas, the king became...
Please read the explanation, Mataji.
Oh, sorry. In Sarga 8, what Sanat Kumara had already predicted has happened now. We also see how King Dasaratha did not make decisions all by himself. First, he pleaded with the learned Brahmanas about his desire to beget a son and how he wanted to fulfill it as per the Vedic rules. Then when the Brahmanas approved it, the instruction came from the Brahmana's mouth, which was earlier in his mind. So the lesson we get is that even a great emperor like King Dasaratha sought the blessings of the Brahmanas and elders. Without their blessings, his goal of having a son would not be achieved.
So the first thing we all should understand is we need the blessings and mercy of the Brahmanas, Guru, and our priest. इन सबकी कृपा और आशीर्वाद होना जरूरी है, तभी जाके किसी को बच्चा हो सकता। कृपा होनी चाहिए, कृपा हो जाए ना तो जहां there is no possibility of a child, वहां पे भी बच्चा हो जाए. You all know the birth of Hanuman Chalisa? I'll tell you a small story. We're going to have this story in detail in our Raj Balsara's house program, but I'll just tell you the brief about it. Once Tulsidas ji was going around, and suddenly a group of people were going. Suddenly a lady came and fell at his feet. And she started crying. And suddenly from Tulsidas ji's mouth, it came, Putravati Bhava. And the lady started crying louder. So what happened? I said, nice, no, Putravati Bhava, you have a nice son, be happy. No, how can I have my son? My husband has died. See, they are taking my husband. That is the whole group of people are taking my husband is dead. And you are giving me Ashirwad of Putravati Bhava. How can I be Putravati now? I said, don't worry. Agar mere muh se nikla hai, if it has come out of my mouth, definitely it will happen. He said, now your husband's body is not yet burnt. No, don't worry. Make him wait. They made that, kept the body down. And he prayed. He said, all of you chant the holy name of the Lord. So all the people over there who are carrying the body, they all started chanting. Sitaram, 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 Sitaram. Everyone started, even the lady started, everyone there over there started. And finally, within few minutes, when they started chanting the holy name, of Lord Ramchandra. Immediately, this man who was dead got up and sat down. The minute he sat up, everyone was shocked. This man is dead. How could he get up? So this act or deed of तुलसीदास जी स्प्रेड ऑल ओवर, सब जगह उनका ख्याति बढ़ी, यहां तक कि राजा अकबर तक पहुंच गया. तो अकबर ने पूछा, अरे बाप रे, ये कौन सा जादू मंत्र जानता है, ये कौन सा क्या बोलते हैं ट्रिक्स. So when he heard about this, he said, call Tulsidas ji. People came to get Tulsidas ji. He said, no, I will not come. I do not sing the praises of the Badshah. I pray only the Badshah. I pray the praises for the Lord himself, not for the Badshah. He may be Badshah of the world, but for me, he is not the Badshah. For me, God is only the Badshah. He went and told him. Immediately, Akbar got angry. अरे मुझसे पंगा ले रहे, उठा के लेके आओ उसको. उठा के लेके आए. He said, देखो, मैंने सुना है, I've heard that you can do chamatkar, miracles. So show me one miracle now. I said, I cannot show any miracles. I don't have any tantric power or anything. No, I heard you can do. You must do. Otherwise, I will not leave you. I'll put you in the Karagar. कहाँ डाल दूंगा? Karagar. He said, I'm not capable of doing any miracles. Put him in the Karagar. And he was there in the Karagar for 40 days. Now you will understand why Hanuman Chalisa. He was there in the prison for 40 days. And there he was thinking, Arey, my service to the Lord is not happening. What will I do? How will I do? And then in that 40 days, the end of the 40th day, he got desperate and immediately composed this Hanuman Chalisa, which refers to one day as 40 verses to be each as one day. And immediately, you all know, the monkeys attacked. This was at Fatehpur Sikri. He was kept in Fatehpur Sikri, and there all the monkeys attacked, and then the king was told to release, and that itself was a big miracle for him. So many monkeys could not attack that small city. So many people could not attack. So many monkeys could not come. So the point what I'm trying to say here is, Hanuman Chalisa story is a part of the class, but the most important part, take home message is, here it is saying how he was taking the blessings of the Brahmanas. And here also we saw in the story how a lady just came and fell in the feet of Tulsidas ji. And immediately Tulsidas ji क्या बोले उनको? पुत्रवती भव. और जिंदगी बदल गई. Life changed. So by blessings of Brahmanas, blessings of sadhus, your life can change. Will change. 100% change. Blessings you should receive. And that is what first thing he is doing. He is first receiving the blessings, and then he is trying to modify or change his desire or get the Yagya done and all that. Second. So we have to understand that whenever we want our desires to be fulfilled, whether we have a desire or not, we should always respect Brahmanas, we should always respect sadhus, pay our obeisances, and always be humble and down to earth in front. Yes, Mataji, please continue.
Having heard the words of those Brahmanas, the king became happy. Delighted with their auspicious words, he told the ministers. King Dasaratha said, as per the teacher's words of guidance, quickly arrange the ingredients for the sacrifice. Release the horse, which should be well protected by able warriors, along with the priests. On the northern bank of the Sarayu River, prepare a sacrificial ground, invoking increasing peace as per tradition and scriptures. Explanation. From this, it is clear that peace can be achieved only through scriptural processes. For the various yugas, the scriptural process of devotion is different. Srimad Bhagavatam states the various processes in different yugas. Krite yadhyayato Vishnum tretayam yajato makhe dwapare paricharyayam kalau tadhari kirtanat. As per the eras, the ways of worship also vary. In Satyug, worship to God is by meditation. In Treta Yuga, worship is by fire sacrifices. Later in Dwapar Yuga, worship is serving God in the form of Archa Vigraha. But in Kali Yuga, all the various factors like lifespan, purity, and so on have deteriorated. So simply by singing and chanting the Lord's name, we can worship God. The process of achieving God is the easiest in Kali Yuga. Simply by chanting the name of the Lord, one can get the same result that he was getting in the earlier yugas by making great sacrifices or penances. It is open to all types of people. Therefore, one must understand that the whole purpose of reading the Ramayana is to develop a taste for chanting the holy name of the Lord. One may chant Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, or simply Sita Ram. Only by chanting the holy name of God in Kali Yuga, one becomes cleansed of all his sins and can get out from the cycle of birth and death. This is the benefit of reading scriptures like Ramayana, Mahabharata, and the Bhagavad Gita. One gets knowledge and in due course of time develops devotional service to the Lord. In the end, the living entity becomes free from the cycle of birth and death. However, by reading other general books, one may get some material knowledge, but cannot get devotion to God or liberation from the cycle of birth and death.
इसलिए हमेशा कहते हैं, आचार्यगण क्या कहते हैं, जब भी वक्त मिले अब भगवान का नाम लीजिए और भगवान का नाम लेते लेते शास्त्र का अध्ययन. Please read the scriptures, Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. Everything has to be read. Just by listening lectures, you will not get knowledge. You have to read it. Secondly, most important, ये जो ज्ञान है, बाकी किताब पढ़ने से आपको ज्ञान मिलेगा. By reading other books, you get knowledge, right? By reading some science book, history book, geography book, कितना है, you know, some people like war fiction, war facts and all that, the Second World War and all that. Fine, that's all good. But that is not going to give you punyas. That is not going to give you sukriti. And last but not the least, it will not liberate you from the cycle of birth and death. So here, the entire shloka, this entire explanation means only one thing. Prite dhyayato Vishnu, yate dvapare paricharyaya. Triyataya, sorry. Prite dhyayato Vishnu, Tretayam Yagyato Makhir, Dvapare Paricharyaya, Kalau Tad Hari Kirtana. So this is very clear that in which yuga, what type of devotion can be done. It depends on the lifespan, it depends on the purity, the condition of the virtual situation of those days. All those matters. Lifespan in Satyuga was maximum, so people used to do dhyana. They could sit for thousands of years. Have you heard Vishwamitra Muni sitting 60,000 years? Not a problem. I say, take walk. Yeah, we cannot stay for 100 years. There is a question in 100 years also. We have got first 25 years goes in childhood. So in rest of the life, old age also goes. You are weak, like a vegetable lying on the bed. So what are you left with? 30, 40 years. Can you equate that with thousands of years in Satyu? No. So we are not capable. Our body is also weak. Conditions are so bad. There were no mobile phones in Satyuga. No disturbance. Whereas in Kali Yuga, there is only disturbance. Klesha. Everywhere there is only Klesha. So the process was different in Satyuga. In Treta Yuga, Tretayam Yagyato Makher. Yagya started. All these fire sacrifices. That is why you see the predominance of fire sacrifice is more in the entire Ramayana. Ramchandraji also does Ashwamedha Yagya. You see so many Rishi Munis doing Ashwamedha Yagya. But what is the purpose of doing this Yagya? It's to invoke relation with God. But the problem is, in today's date, we don't have those Brahmanas who can read those mantras. We don't have those purity in the Brahmanas who can perform these Yagyas. Secondly, it is a very rich program, rich man's program. Every Tom, Dick and Harry cannot do a यज्ञ. आजकल यज्ञ के नाम पे होता क्या है? श्री सूक्तम, पुरुष सूक्तम, बस ये दो पढ़ लेते हैं और एक आध दो मंत्र और पढ़ लिया, हो गया यज्ञ पूरा. That is not yagya. In today's date, in the name of yagya, something is happening. Not yagya. Actual yagya is not. एक संकल्प ले लिया और पुरुष सूक्तम, श्री सूक्तम पढ़ लिया, हो गया. These yagyas used to go for ages, years together. Not years. Here also you will see in this Ramayana, this whole 1 year passes in the entire yagya, Ashwamedha yagya. And ingredients. आजकल प्योर घी मिलना मुश्किल, बाकी चीज तो दूर की बात. घी के वांदे हैं यहाँ. And you are talking of so many rare ingredients which nowadays people are not there who can even identify those ingredients. Same is the problem with Ayurveda. Ayurveda has got all solutions, but we don't have people who are qualified to read the Ayurvedic which herbs and which those rare ingredients are available. Nobody knows. Very few are left. So the reason is this was all okay for Treta Yuga. Dwapar Yuga was like, already lifespan had reduced from 1 lakh years to 10,000 years to 1,000 years. Satyug, 1 lakh years. 10,000 years in Treta. 1,000 years in Dwapar. And 100 years in Kali. तो अभी आयु हो गई 1000 वर्ष की. एक ही परिवार के अंदर अच्छे और बुरे रहने लगे. सो अब बोला ठीक है, अभी ये भी नहीं होगा, मन भटक रहा है इधर उधर. सतयुग, नो डिस्ट्रैक्शन, सो माइंड कुड बी फोकस्ड ऑन गॉड. in Treta Yuga, the focus on the mind reduced a little, so they started doing mantra chanting and putting yagyas. Then in Dwapar, temple worship, deity worship, they started doing deity worship. And finally in Kali Yuga, they realized ये कुछ भी नहीं चलना. Chanting the holy name, reading the scriptures, and serving the Lord and the sadhus and the brahmanas is the only way of salvation in Kali Yuga. So don't try to copy paste. If someone wants to try this out, no, Prabhuji, in Satyuga I read in Treta Yuga Ramchandraji's father did this, so I will also do this. No, you can't do it. You can't try it because that was for that yuga. This yuga is totally different. Yes, Mataji, please continue.
If this sacrifice was that easy to perform without any faults or troubles, then all the kings would have done this great sacrifice. The problem is that these scholarly Brahma Rakshasas hunt for faults during the sacrifice. The moment even a minor fault is found by these Brahma Rakshasas, immediately the performer of the sacrifice is destroyed by them. They also create many hindrances in the sacrifice. That is why complete the sacrifice as per the rules. You people can do it without any faults. So make the arrangements accordingly.
Very big important instruction is being given by Dasaratha Maharaj to his people. बहुत बड़ा आदेश दे रहे हैं और एक वार्निंग दे रहे हैं. अभी ये यज्ञ करना बड़ी बात नहीं है, ये यज्ञ का पूर्ति करना बड़ी बात. और यज्ञ पूर्ति नहीं होगा. The yagya cannot be completed because there are something called Brahma Rakshasas. Now, what are Brahma Rakshasas? They have the knowledge, entire knowledge, but they use that knowledge for bad purpose. They don't use it for good purpose. Secondly, they know the loopholes. One mistake done while performing the yagya, and if there is a little mistake, that mistake can destroy the yajman. The performer of the yagya himself can be destroyed. So अच्छा फल तो दूर की बात है, उल्टा विपरीत फल मिलेगा या शायद उस यजमान का मृत्यु भी हो सकता है. It can even kill or destroy the performer of the yagya. That is why he is giving a very, very important warning. If this sacrifice was that easy to perform, आसान होता. हर कोई कर लेता है यहाँ पे. Why we mentioned in the Shastras mentioned इन्होंने इतना अश्वमेध यज्ञ किया, इन्होंने इतना अश्वमेध यज्ञ किया, फलाना फलाना राजा ने इतना किया. क्यों? That means what? He completed it successfully without any faults or mistake. That is what is indicating. No. He didn't attempt. Here they are talking of how many he have completed. So that is why he's saying, if this sacrifice was that easy to perform without any faults or troubles, then all the kings would have done this great sacrifice. हर कोई छोटा मोटा राजा भी कर लेता था. बड़ा राजा ना सही, छोटा राजा तो कर ही सकता था. तो बड़ा कोई specific rajas only could do it. Means what? If this Brahma Rakshasas create an upadrav, at they disturb the Yagya, like how Ramchandraji was taken by Vishwamitra, Tataka and Marich, were all troubling the Brahmanas when they were performing Yagya. So what they said, we cannot fight, we cannot kill, because when the Yagya starts, we cannot open our mouth. So you come, Ramchandraji, you come and kill them. And then Ramchandraji goes and kills. That means what? These Kshatriya kings, not all, but these Kshatriya kings were strong and smart enough to handle those problems. But still is giving a warning. The problems in these the problem is that these scholarly Brahma Rakshasas hunt for faults during the sacrifice. जब तक कोई गलती ना हो ना, वो ब्रह्म राक्षस कुछ नहीं कर सकता. The minute he finds a mantra is not uchcharan, sahi nahi hai, mantra ka uchcharan sahi nahi hai, it's not been pronounced, the words or the shlokas are not pronounced correctly, the right meter, because they know which is the right meter and the wrong meter. Meter मतलब छंद, किस छंद में किसको कैसे बोलना है. So they know the meter, they know everything. So the minute any fault, स्वाहा बोलते वक्त उसने नहीं डाला अग्नि में कुछ, वो भी गलती. मतलब small minor mistakes. But उस minor mistakes को लेके they can create havoc. The moment even a minor fault is found by these Brahma Rakshasas, immediately the performer of the sacrifice is destroyed by them. जो व्यक्ति, जो यजमान जो इस यज्ञ को कर रहा है, उसी को वो खत्म कर. They also create many hindrances in the sacrifice. Sacrifice करने के पहले जैसे रामचंद्र जी को लेके गए थे ना, तब उन्होंने कितना hindrance किया था. ऊपर से the Rakshasas were putting, pus, urine, stool, and all those things, and trying to make the, break the Yagyashala. So many hindrances there. Create many hindrances in the sacrifice. That is why complete the Yagya as per the sacrifice as per the rules. You people can do it without any faults. So make the arrangements accordingly. यहाँ पे तैयारी पे जोर ज्यादा है. Preparation of the yagya has to be more perfectly done. कि उसमें गलती हो गया तो आगे और गलतियां हो सकती है, and Brahma Rakshas can take the advantage of that and destroy everything. यज्ञ तो करेगा ही करेगा, यज्ञ का यजमान भी है, उसको भी. Don't leave any small mistake also or a gap for the Brahma Rakshasas to find out. That is the instruction which Dasaratha Maharaj is giving to his people. Yes, Mataji, please continue.
Minister said that it would be done so and honored that best of the kings. As ordered by the king, they indeed carried out the sacrifice flawlessly. The righteous Brahmanas then praised King Dasaratha, who was like a bull among kings. With the king's permission, they all again returned as they had come. On the departure of those foremost Brahmanas, the king dismissed his ministers. Then that effulgent personality entered his palace.
So we have to understand that Dasaratha Maharaj has given us a clear-cut instruction to his people that all the preparations have to be done correctly. No faults. There can be no scope of any faults, because one fault means your the performer of the yagya can be destroyed fully, can also be killed by the Brahma Rakshasas. So he's telling right from the preparation, everything has to be perfect. And that is one of the reason why in today's date we cannot do these type of elaborate yagyas. These yagyas require real vast resources, money, and competent people. All three are lacking in today's yuga, so it's very difficult. These yagyas definitely yield results. That is the specialty of these yagyas. Definitely it will give you result, but पहले ढंग से होना भी चाहिए. That is why in Kali Yuga all this is not praised or allowed. Okay, with this I'd like to close today's session.